Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Vinyl Den, your channel for record collecting by record collectors. My name is Nick. So I just got home from a long night being out at the record store for Record Store Day. So I'm going to talk about, what happened, where I went, and the albums I picked up. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you click on that link down below. Go check out the Vinyl Den Facebook group. It's just a cool place to continue the music conversation. There's also a couple other links down there. There's one for the Vinyl Den merch page. We got t-shirts and sweatshirts on there. There's a link for the Apple Music and Spotify playlists where every week we're just compiling music that we're talking about here on the channel, putting it together on a nice playlist for everyone to enjoy. And there's also a link for the Vinyl Den Patreon page. If you want to support the show, it's always greatly appreciated. And you can support the show for as little as $1 a month. And of course, if you enjoy the episode, make sure you give me the old thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified every time we release new episodes. So like I said in the intro, I just got back from Record Store Day. And overall it was a really fun night. I really enjoyed it. Going out to Record Store Day, I typically go between probably 11 and 12. It's normally like 11:30 or so by the time I get to the record store. And since there wasn't anything like super limited on my list this year, I didn't really know what time I was going to go out there. I planned on going out there like maybe 2 or 3 o'clock and kind of seeing how my luck did, being a little bit further back in line. I actually ended up going out a little earlier, made it to the record store about midnight last night. And I was actually kind of surprised. I was sixth in line. Typically, a lot of people don't really start showing up until after midnight. That's why I kind of thought I'd be okay. Maybe I'd be second or third, maybe in line. But I was talking to the first 3 people in line. They all came together, and I was surprised they were actually out there at 9:30 the night before. So the record store I go to for Record Store Day, Dearborn Music, it's one of the best record stores in the country. I've been going there for years, and they've got a great selection. They pretty much get all the Record Store Day releases. So if I'm up towards the front of the line, I generally know I'm going to get whatever I'm looking for. But when their doors open up, there's normally 300 or 400 people in line. I'll put a picture up on the screen of all the people that were there when the doors opened up this morning. So the doors opened up at 8, and what Dearborn Music does. And I think this is kind of a common thing that a lot of record stores have started doing over the last couple of years. But Dearborn hands out these sheets where you mark off of the records you want. You take your ticket here, and then they'll text you when your order's done. They pull everything in order. So yeah, you don't really get the fun of going through the record store and kind of digging for things and looking for the albums you're looking for. But I think it takes a lot of the chaos out of record store, especially for the amount of business that Dearborn gets on Record Store Day. You'd get people trying to cut in front of other people, trying to grab titles, especially if it's something limited and they've only got, 3, 4, 5 different copies. People would kind of push around to get what they're looking for. So I think this is kind of a more fair way of doing it. If you're somebody that's going to sit out there for, 11 hours, I think you should get the stuff you're looking for. Maybe it's just me, but, I know there's, like I said, a lot of stores that have kind of gone to a system like this just because, it does kind of take, it's a lot easier for them to process all those. I know that when the doors open up, like I said, you can see all the people that were in line, and Dearborn processes all those orders pretty quickly. So it's actually a pretty efficient process for the record store. But, so what my plan was for Record Store Day this year was like I said, I typically go to Dearborn Music. That's the place I've always gone over the last, several years. But there's another record store in my area called Rock City Music up in Livonia, Michigan here, where just recently, within the last couple of weeks, they bought this big 1,800-piece album collection. And the stuff they've been posting on their social media accounts, it's albums that, frankly, I haven't seen a lot of these in the wild in years. Some of them I've never seen. So, I was definitely kind of tempted to maybe go out to Rock City this year for Record Store Day and kind of camp out there. So I didn't really know which way I was going to go, because I know Rock City was going to get a lot of those RSD titles I was looking for, but they also had, this great used collection that they were going to put out with albums that, I've had on my want list for literally years, stuff that, you never see, so I didn't really know which way I was going to go. The weather was not going to be great in Michigan last night, so it kind of rained the entire night up until about 5 o'clock this morning. It was cold, it was in the mid 40s. So I decided to go to Dearborn Music because they opened up at 8 o'clock in the morning. I could turn in my sheet, and I had until the end of the day to pick up my albums, which actually worked out pretty perfectly. So 8 o'clock in the morning, I turned my sheet in, and then Rock City didn't open up until 10 o'clock. So I was able to shoot 20 minutes or so across town to get in line at that store also. When I got to Rock City, it was about 8:30, 8:45, so I had about an hour and a half or so to waste until the doors open up. And I want to say I was like 9th or 10th in line, so it wasn't actually that bad of a line. I'll put a picture up of the line, what it looked like when I got there. So I'll go over the couple of albums that I bought from Rock City first, and I'll kind of go over my RSD titles. I will say that the lines were both great at both locations I went to. It was cool just staying out there and having those music conversations for hours on end, especially with, pandemics and everything being shut down last couple of years. I missed out on a lot of that, conversation that, we tend to have at record stores. So that was definitely cool to stand in both of those lines for hours on end all night long talking music. So when I got into the record store, I knew a lot of this stuff at Rock City was going to be really expensive. I know that they had posted both Van Halen, For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, and Balance. And those were both way out of my price range, even though I'd love to have both of those albums. But I did grab something that I've been looking for a long time, and something that, I thought was a great price and is also a great album. I will say that, all these albums are perfectly clean and they all look fantastic. But I grabbed the copy. This is a copy of Live Through This. I don't know. This is a recent reissue that they had. So this is a 2016 reissue. It actually had like a standard list price on it. So definitely not a bad album. The thing looks absolutely fantastic. Spotless, clean album. And, I'm a fan of Hole's first couple of albums, so I definitely been looking for that one. This one, though, this is an album that I've been kind of going back and forth. There was another record store in the area that had it. It was really super expensive, so I decided to pass on it, even though I am a huge fan of this band. This is The Spaghetti Incident by Guns N' Roses. This is an original European pressing, and this thing is still in the shrink wrap. It is opened up and been played, though, but this thing looks absolutely flawless. It's in a nice, MoFi type sleeve. As you can see, it's absolutely spotless. It looks brand new album. It wasn't cheap, but, like I said, I've been a huge Guns N' Roses fan since I was a kid. So the Spaghetti Incident was the only album of theirs I didn't have. So it was definitely one that I was really super glad to add to my collection. I will say that I could have dropped several $1,000s in Rock City just because there were, at least 6 or 7 other albums that, I probably will never be able to buy unless they get reissued. But, I just couldn't drop that kind of money on records. So I was able to grab all the RSD titles I was looking for. So that's definitely cool. I went back and forth on a couple and kind of switched my list up a little bit, even from the list I talked about on my Thursday episode. But the first one, this is Future DS2. It's an album I'm not really all that familiar with. My son is a big fan. He was really looking forward to this album. So I wasn't going to open it up on the show, but he already beat me to it and pulled the shrink wrap off because he wanted to listen to the first disc before he went off to work. This is on like a teal vinyl. Looks really cool. I guess on the camera it kind of has more of a blue look to it, but just a standard solid looking color. I guess I love colored albums, but I don't know. I guess I'm kind of tired of the solid kind of look to it. I think it would had a better look to it had it been like a translucent kind of color. So I went back and forth on Alice in Chains' We Die Young. I decided to end up grabbing it just because it does have the one track on it. I think it's We Die Young is the track that wasn't included on Facelift. I love that early Alice in Chains period. And I think this is just, I guess I'll open it up here real quick. I think this is just on black vinyl, I think. I'm going to try to cut just the side open so I can leave the shrink wrap on it. Yeah, it's just on black. But, it's cool. I'm definitely interested to check that out. It's a Alice in Chains track I'm not familiar with. So, yeah, and like I said, it wasn't badly priced. I want to say it was like $15 or something like that. So, I'm sure it's one that a lot of people picked up for Record Store Day. This next one, though, this is one that was probably my number one get for this Record Store Day drop. And it's an album that has been way over $100 for a long time. And it's Whitey Ford Slings the Blues by Everlast. This is an album that if you only know the one track off of it, you're kind of missing out, because there's definitely a bunch of other great stuff on this album than what's the one track? The What It's Like. I don't know why I was couldn't think of the name there, but so I think this is the same thing as Alice in Chains. I think this is just on black vinyl. Try to save the. I've been trying to do that lately with some of my just a couple of albums that have a anniversary sticker or something on the front. I've been trying to save the shrink wrap a little bit more than I used to. And the Everlast is just on black. I will say that make sure you double check. You open up your albums and double check and make sure you have a side A, B, and then a C and D, because I know that I haven't heard of anything so far at this Record Store Day, but in Record Store Days past, I've heard of people not open up their albums for a week or two, and then come to find out they've got two of the same disc inside. So make sure you open them up and check all those out. So I know I talked in my Thursday video about wanting to get that Joan Jett acoustic album. I decided to pass on it just because, from what I understand of the album, they're actually going to reissue or release the full, I think it was 12 or 15 tracks, whatever it was. Later this year, they're going to release that full album instead of just the truncated RSD release. So I decided to pass on it, and instead of grabbing that, I grabbed the Offspring's Greatest Hits. I guess I'm not a huge Offspring fan, but they're a band that I could probably do just a greatest hits of, even though I do have a couple of their early albums. And I think this is on blue vinyl. So I've already seen pictures of this on Discogs and on Facebook. So I know it's got that same kind of solid, not a whole lot different than that Future album. So kind of a darker blue. So the next album is one that I've been looking forward, probably not for a long time. I was going to pick up a reissue probably just before they announced the RSD list, and I saw this was going to be released with some additional material, so I decided to wait and grab the Record Store Day release. But that, of course, is Belladonna by Stevie Nicks, and I think this is a gatefold, so I won't be able to save the shrink wrap on this one. This has early and alternate tracks on there, and which I think that's kind of what drew me to this release. It wasn't a huge price difference between this and the standard album, so I decided I'd just wait and grab the RSD release. Hopefully my shrink wrap wasn't too loud, but it's not a gatefold. What's the inside of the gatefold? Back of it. And I think this is on black also. Yeah, these are both on both discs are just standard black. Bad Company Live 1979. This is an album that I didn't expect to be one that moved really fast. I had forgotten that there was only 6,500 of these made. So this is on orange vinyl. And I love that early Bad Company period, so this is definitely one I was really looking forward to. Once again, it's on a gatefold, so I won't be able to save the shrink wrap. I'll show you the inside of it. It's kind of cool. Just pics of the band. I'm assuming during that the show. And then, yeah. So this is kind of I like these like translucent kind of colors. I think that's got just a better kind of look to it than the solid colors do. I guess it's probably just me, but if I can get a translucent color, I'll definitely go there instead of getting a solid color. So I also picked up Mariah Carey's Number Ones. This is an album that I talked about, even in my RSD preview episode just a couple of months ago when the list came out. Because I don't have any Mariah Carey in my collection, so I thought this was kind of a good way to get a lot of those tracks I really like. And pop this open. I think this is another one of those albums that's on standard black. It's got 13, like her first 13 big number one hits. This is a brand new double LP pressing of the original 1998 release, remastered at 24-bit high-res audio for vinyl. So there's the little hype sticker on there. I will say that it is on standard black, and I will tell you that this is why I'm not a fan of these sleeves. And I'm like, I understand if you're doing an RSD release, I think you should probably put it in at least like one of those paper or anti-static line sleeves, because listen to this thing when you pull it out. I don't know if you can hear it on the camera, but I mean that can't be good for the album. And this thing is dirtier than heck. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but it's pretty dirty off of that paper line sleeve. So that's definitely one I'm gonna have to clean up. I'm gonna clean up all of them, but it's one of the things I always say every record store day is when they're doing these RSD releases, I wish they would kind of have that take the extra step and at least put it on in a better sleeve. Of course, I also picked up Belle Bid DeVoe Poison, like I said in the couple of RSD videos I've done. This is an album that I was really looking forward to. This and the Everlast album were probably two of the first ones I saw on the list that I knew that they were ones I had to grab. I had this on cassette, I think, back when it first was released. And this is on, I think this is on colored, this is on cherry red vinyl. So it's the cover there. It's the back cover. I don't know why I was having such a hard time getting that one open. So that's just on just a standard solid. I guess that's cherry. Just kind of just looks red to me, but definitely a cool one to have. It's like I said, it's an album that I probably wore out the cassette when I first bought it. And then my last RSD pickup, this is Kawaii by Childish Gambino. And I saved this one for last because this is kind of an interesting release. There's 3 different colors that they did. There's a blue version, there's a yellow version, and then there's a blue and yellow version, like a split color version that they did. No one knows what color anyone got. It was all completely random, so I'm going to pop this one open and see which one of the 3 I got. So that's why I kind of wanted to save it till the end. This is an album that I've got a bootleg of it. This is the first time it's ever been officially released on vinyl. But it is, if you're unfamiliar with this EP, it is a really good one. It's probably some of my favorite Childish Gambino tracks. I will say that I prefer to either have the split color or the yellow. So we'll see which one I end up with. It is. Looks like I got the split color. Looks pretty sweet. Well, that's all I got for you today, guys. Thanks for checking the show out. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too long about all those albums. I, slept for like 45 minutes in the past 24 hours. So drop me a comment down below and let me know what you guys picked up for Record Store Day, what your favorite titles were, whether or not there was some stuff you ended up passing on. Like I said, that Joan Jett ended up passing on, and so did I almost picked up that Ramones box set, which, I'm not a huge fan of their 80s albums, but there's a lot of really great stuff in there that hasn't been available on vinyl in a very, very long time. So let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give me the old thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. And that's all I got. Until next time, keep on spinning. Peace.